Hey guys, this is a video of 3 reasons you should look after your spine if you're a surfer. I'm Dr. Cory Palmer.
And I'm Dr. Remington. Today we're going to talk about 3 things: posture, performance, and mobility within the spine.
If you like this stuff, give us a like or subscribe. Alright, number 1 is mobility of your spine. In particular, your upper neck and your upper back, where the two meet. This becomes really important when you're paddling and looking down the line. You're engaging your shoulders and you're engaging that upper back and lower neck all the time while you surf. So improving your mobility in this area is really important. If you look at it from a paddling point of view, if you have not a lot of range of motion here and not a lot of motion able to look up, your paddling is going to be quite weak. You're not going to get as much power out of it. Whereas if you improve your posture, you have more range of motion, you're going to be able to paddle much more forcefully. And you're going to catch more waves, you're going to catch bigger waves. And as a surfer, that's what it's all about, making you catch more waves.
Secondly, we want to talk about the pelvis and how that relates to mobility and also getting the most power out of your surfing. Alright guys, so here you have the back of your pelvis. I'm just going to introduce it really quick. This is the side, this is where your hip is. And your leg runs down here, and this is the front. So if you have a portion of the pelvis which is rotated or dysfunctional, essentially this whole area is going to get locked up. The femur head, which is your leg, is going to get pulled up because when this comes backwards, it pulls this port forward. And so if this area is having dysfunction, that's also going to have dysfunction all the way down the leg. It's going to hinder your surf and the power that you require when you're doing your turns. So when you look at this wrench, if you think about it, if this is your hip socket and this is your leg, it's moving back and forth nice and smooth. So if anyone knows anything about a wrench, if the bolt is really tight, if you grab it from here, it's much harder to turn the wrench than if you grab it from further out here. So that's much easier. You're going to get a lot more power out of your hip, or for that matter, any other part of your spine when everything's moving correctly. So for example, you have optimal mobility in the pelvis, allowing the hip and the rest of the leg to work the way it's supposed to. You can get the most power out of your turns, like you'll see here in this video. So number 2, posture. We're going to talk about neck posture. We're going to talk specifically about how the head moves forward from the shoulders. And through physics, we can actually figure out that for every inch forward that your head is over your shoulders, that actually creates an additional 4.5 kilograms. If you think about how critical that is, because some people have 1 inch forward, some people have 2, 3, 4 inches forward. So that head is now almost 3-4 times the additional weight that it should be. So how does that relate to surfing? Well, it's really important when you're surfing actually to be in a stance that doesn't have your head forward. So when the head starts to come forward, that's actually when you start to get that funny stance when you're surfing, where the head is bent over. People refer to it as the poo stance. So the better the posture of the neck, the better we can keep that head back, the better we'll be able to keep our head over our shoulders when we're surfing, which is going to help you with your speed as well as your overall control while you're surfing.
Number 3 is performance, which is really important with having your spine moving well for you to perform at your very best as a surfer. But what also is important is balance, awareness where your limbs are in space, and decision making. And these are all important components into a really good surfer. The research shows or has suggested that getting adjusted by a chiropractor can really improve the relationship between your spine and your nervous system, which in this case is this yellow bit that's coming out of your spine. It's been shown to actually have a 30% improvement in your ability to know where your limbs are in space, your balance, your strength driving, which is really important, or your power, which is all really important components for a surfing career. And so really what this video is all about is trying to get you guys informed so that you can make the best decisions for your spine, for the health and well-being of your surfing, so we can all surf when we're 90.